It's scary to think about someone's final moments. Death itself is terrifying, but you won't believe the scary things that these celebrities have said before they passed. From Princess Diana freaking out not knowing what happened, to Brittany Murphy telling her mom she's dying. I'll be discussing these and more on today's top 10 list. Starting off this countdown, we have Brittany Murphy. Brittany Murphy was an iconic actress in the late 90s to early 2000s. She was well known for the movies Clueless or Uptown Girls, and it was such a tragedy that she had to pass away at such a young age. She had such a bright future ahead for her. Sadly, on December 20th, 2009, Britney passed away. Shortly before this, she had called her mom and said, "Mom, I'm dying." Imagine hearing those words coming out of your daughter's mouth. It just breaks my heart. It said she passed away from pneumonia, an iron deficiency, and from having multiple drugs in her system. In our 9th spot, we have Elvis Presley. Alright, so Elvis Presley. Do I even have to explain who Elvis was? Like, if you don't know who he was, then wow, you might be a little too young to watch these videos. I'm kidding, but he was just a huge superstar. On August 16th, 1977, Elvis had gone to the dentist in the morning and then returned home to his fiancée. At some point, he told her that he was, and I quote, "going to the bathroom to read," in which she replied with, "Don't fall asleep in there. It was a joke." And he replied with, "Okay, I won't." Those were his last words. She then proceeded to have a nap, and a couple hours later she woke up to find that he never came out of the bathroom. He had passed away in there. This just makes his last words so haunting. What's even worse is that he proposed to her on January 26, 1977 in that bathroom, the same place he passed away. In our 8th spot, we have Prince. A huge rock legend that was known for his elaborate stage outfits and amazing voice and vocal range. Prince was performing almost every night in high heels. As a result, he developed bad back and hip problems, leading him to need some serious painkillers. He was prescribed a fentanyl patch to help with the pain, which later would contribute to his overdose on April 21st, 2016. Before he passed away, he had been on the phone with his lawyer. Prince assured him that he was fine. He said he was doing perfect. And then he said, "Okay, I'll call you soon." Prince never called back. He passed away shortly after. Moving on to number 7, we have Jimi Hendrix. Jimi Hendrix was an American singer, songwriter, and musician. To this day, he's considered one of the most influential electric guitarists. Now, according to his girlfriend, Jimi spent his last day in London with her. She claimed that he had made a meal for them at her apartment at around 11 at night, accompanied with a bottle of wine. At around 1:45, she drove him to his friend's house and then picked him up a couple hours later. The last words he ever spoke were to his girlfriend, and they were, "I need help bad, man." The next morning, she found him unconscious and unresponsive. He passed away shortly after. In our 6th spot, we have Kurt Cobain. I just realized that there are a lot of great musicians on this list. Like, it's sad that they left this world so soon. Kurt Cobain was a singer-songwriter for the band Nirvana. Sadly, in 1994, he took his own life. He was only 27 years old. His last words were found in a note that he left. In the note, he quoted Neil Young's lyrics. He said, "It's better to burn out than fade away." And those were his last words. And from them, we can kind of interpret that he wanted to go out being famous instead of being forgotten. We are now at our 5th and halfway mark with Coco Chanel. Coco Chanel, of course, you know her for being the founder of the luxury brand Chanel, which is still huge to this day. I wish I could afford it. I can't. Sadly, she passed away on January 9th, 1971 from old age. She was 87 years old when she passed away, and she was getting pretty frail. On the day of her death, she went out for a long drive. When she returned home, she wasn't feeling well and went to bed early. Her final words were to her maid, and she said, "You see, this is how you die." That's pretty dark if you ask me. What's freaky is how a lot of these celebrities knew that they were passing away. Like, they can feel their body giving up on them or something. Somehow they just know that it will be their final day. Moving on to number 4, we have Joan Crawford. Joan Crawford was an American film and TV actress. She started off as a dancer for a number of theater companies and then went on to be on Broadway. From there, her career took off and she was in a number of impressive films. Sadly, on May 10th, 1977, she passed away from a heart attack at the age of 73. While this was happening, apparently her maids were praying for her, and her last words were telling them off. She said, "Damn it, don't you dare ask God to help me." and then she passed away. Wow, I bet those maids felt really bad after that. Coming in at number 3, we have Michael Jackson. Now, there's a lot of controversy surrounding the King of Pop's death, but in the end, he passed away after overdosing on propofol, the drug he was addicted to and constantly had his doctors administer him. The last thing he ever said was "more milk." Milk was the name he had given propofol because of its milky appearance. So his last words were asking for the thing that would later kill him. In our second spot, we have Princess Diana. On August 31st, 1997, Princess Diana got into a car with her rumored boyfriend. However, the driver of the car was very intoxicated and ended up driving at a very high speed when he lost control of the car and smashed into a pillar. The driver and her boyfriend died instantly. The paparazzi that had been following the car watched this tragedy unfold before their eyes. Diana suffered from a concussion, broken arm, cut thigh, and massive chest injuries. When the paparazzi came to her rescue, they heard her say, "My God, what's happened?" That's the last thing she said. She passed away later in the hospital as a result. And in our number 1 spot, we have Chris Farley. Chris Farley was an American comedian and actor known for being on Saturday Night Live or in movies such as Coneheads and Wayne's World. Farley's last day was December 17th, 1997. The weekend prior, he spent it partying and doing drugs with a lady of the night named Heidi. On the Wednesday, the two were doing some heavy drugs. When she got up to leave, Farley apparently said, "Don't leave," and then he passed out. She took a photo of him and then left. That's so sad. The last thing he ever said was him pleading for her to stay so that he wasn't alone. The next day, Chris's brother found him still lying on the floor close to the door. He was found clutching rosary beads. He had passed away from drug overdose. And I bet Heidi felt really bad after that, and also because she has a picture of him. Let me know in the comments below which celebrity you missed the most. And now, to brighten things up, it's time for our comment shoutout portion. I'll be shouting out comments for my video, Top 10 Creepy Chinese Bedtime Stories. Lotch the Fox commented, "The guy in the first story literally ghosted his girlfriend." That's a really good joke because the girl died and was a ghost, and then he's like, "Oh, that's a ghost, see ya." But then she came back and haunted him, so who's laughing now? Don't ghost women. No, just kidding. Jesse Verez commented, "The Mongolian death worm sounds a lot like the movie Tremors." Honestly, I was thinking about that when I wrote that list, but then I thought, you know, Tremors is kind of like an old, like low-key movie. I don't know if anyone would know about it, but it really does sound like that movie, which is a little questionable. If you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about. Shin-chan Nohara commented, "Now I can sleep peacefully." Yeah, no, these are meant to be bedtime stories and they're really dark and creepy. I don't know how anyone can sleep after hearing them, especially when you're a child and you hear those, you're like, ah, a ghost coming back for revenge. Good night. I think that's how serial killers are created. Obsidian Selders commented, "Are you guys sisters?" And this was to me and the new host Olivia. We are not sisters. We get that comment a lot, but we're not. I think it's because we're white and because we have curly hair. And it's kind of the same color. But no, we're not. Bunny Sleeper commented, "Mongolian worm is real." Do not tell me that. I do not want that thing to be real. Good thing that we're in Canada and not there where it's real. Who knows? Let's just keep it that way. Let's just keep it as a story and that's it, and not actually real. But like I said in the video, people go out looking for it because they think it's real. Like it's like the Bigfoot or something. Like, you know how we have the Bigfoot? Maybe that's their Bigfoot, if you know what I'm saying. Anyways, that's all the comments I'm shouting out for today's video. Make sure to comment something down below for a chance to be featured in my next comment shout out. And don't forget to subscribe to Most Amazing Top 10 for more amazing videos. I've been your host, Lindsay Ivan, and I'll see you when I see ya.